Hey everybody! So I wasn't actually planning on filming in here, but it's quite quiet because prayer time is just around now. But this is one of the supermarkets that stays open. You can't always process sales during that time, but you can still browse. They won't kick you out. Some other places will kick you out. There's been a change just recently in that the law is now that you don't have to leave. They're trying to prevent people from congregating because of COVID. So they're saying, okay, well, we won't make you go out. But it's hit and miss as to whether it's implicated at the moment. So I'm currently in a larger supermarket here called Lulu's, and it's got much more variety and choice than my home supermarket on the compound does. Now, I usually order from here online, but the choice is just so much better, and you get to pick over your own meat and stuff like that. So I decided today, it was quite a quiet day, and I would come out and check it. So I'm going to film a bit of footage, give you some idea of what one of the larger stores does, and yeah, just share it with you. I know you like these little slice of life things, so see you soon. This is the list. We'll have to see if I stick to it. Just waiting to get some baba ganoush from the fresh counter. He's just serving someone else right now, but it's caught my eye, so we know it's not going to. Shukran. Danger zone, which is the bakery section. Sweets are very, very popular here, and there's a huge selection. You're going to see a lot of cakes. I'm going to show you the chilled. I just need to pick up probably French stick, maybe not a whole French stick, but something equivalent, some kind of crusty bread. I think so. I'm going to make some soup today, because even though it's 39 degrees outside, I was just hit by a sudden urge, so I'll show you around. This would have been perfect, but when you lift it up, it's really, really thin inside, so I think slicing it is going to be a bit of an issue. So the rules for the produce section are actually very similar to the ones they had in China when I lived there, and in Indonesia as well, where you choose your things and then you take them up to a person to weigh for you. Whereas in the UK, there are scales around, you weigh and print your label yourself. So just the way it goes here. I've never actually heard of prawn pickle before. I know the dehydrated ones that are frequently used in recipes, but I wonder what recipe this is used for. There's lots of different ones here, the typical sections. We've got fresh curry lemon, we've got fresh fish, we've got the prawns, fresh date pickle. There's a few different kinds. There's beetroot pickle as well, which we see pickle beets in lots of places, but I wonder. We also have a big Indian sweet section here as well. I'm not really massively familiar with Indian sweets, I don't eat them, but they look very pretty. Snack foods are hugely popular here, just as you expect it to be everywhere really, but there is a bit of an international section here. So so I'm just going to check it out. Okay, I'm just waiting outside the shop now. My car should be here pretty soon. He's going to message me so I don't have to wait out in the heat because it's hot outside. I'll do a little grocery haul when I get home and show you just finally what I got. I was trying to avoid putting too many people on film in the shop if I could help it, but I've shown you around a little bit of it, and we'll get home and see everything else. Some alarms going off. For anyone wondering about the mask situation, masks are still compulsory all around, and actually today is August 1st, and from today it's become compulsory to show our vaccination status before entering any government building, any private buildings. I think I've mentioned before, either here or on Twitter, that that was changing soon. So I do have to show my vaccination status. It's like a little app that we show, and the guard checks it before you can go into a mall. This is a very tiny mall. It's really the main attraction is the hypermarket. But any building like that, we now have to show. So that's why I'm all masked up. I've got the app on my phone, otherwise they wouldn't have let me in, and that's a legal requirement from today. Okay everybody, I'm home. I'm just going to show you the few things I got. I did get a couple of non-food items, which was some bedding and a water jug that's going to replace the vase, which I have right there. My bamboo is outpacing the vase I have for it, and the vases are so expensive, and then the water jugs are like 12 SAR, so I was like, okay, there we have it. And then I'm going to show you, I've got all my groceries out on the side, so let's take a look. I just got some new bedding, let's see, there we go, looks like that. So the bedding that I had on my bed for 6 months, my next door neighbor washed, and the whole seam just frayed out, so I needed to replace it. And then here is, I'm going to probably just throw that away and have that as my vase. So that was a pretty good buy. Okay, so here we have the haul. I'm going to start with some of the produce here. I quite want to roast up some vegetables and do a soup. So I've got some pumpkin, I've got some carrot, and I've got some onion. I'm going to roast those. I didn't end up getting bell pepper because I didn't end up getting the pasta sauce I was going to do. So I don't really need it, but I've also got some aubergine that I'm probably going to just roast up. Because I was planning on roasting them, I got the little mini aubergine, but they do have the bigger ones as well that I usually get. And this is just some daikon because I really like it in miso soup. So I'm thinking I've got some like miso base, and I might have daikon and these salmon offcuts. So salmon's usually super expensive, and I didn't fancy paying as much as it was, but these little offcut things are really good in soup. And they were reasonably cheap for Saudi. Saudi isn't a cheap place in general, but I got some salmon pieces and then 2 packs of beef because I've really been in a soup and stew mood. I'm not entirely sure why, given the heat outside, but I'm going to probably stew these up. It was going to be lovely. For today, I've got a cooked chicken, garlic and lemon. I think I got footage of it in the store, and I'm probably going to eat it with some baba ganoush. The baba ganoush is different today. So this is an aubergine like dip. Usually have it with bread and things. But usually theirs is more like a diced salad. Almost. It's got a much coarser grain to it, and they didn't today. I guess they must have changed either the recipe or had a different provider or something. So I want to say, on one hand, a little bit of the shame, on the other hand, still going to be delicious, so whatever. I got myself some bread. It's actually the first time I've bought a loaf of bread in Saudi. It's not something I usually eat, but I've been finding I'm really difficult to stick to the low carb recently, and I'm thinking of just reworking my plan a bit. And just focusing more on calories and whole food and not worrying about the carbs too much. I still don't want to eat a lot of starch, but whatever. Milk because I'm a coffee fiend. Coffee because I'm a coffee fiend. This is what I get. You saw all the different types in the store, but this is one that I'm sure has a grind that's not too fine for my machine, because I have an espresso pump machine, and a lot of the ready ground coffee you get here is too fine for it and gunks it up, because Turkish coffee is down like nearly powdered sugar. It's ridiculous. It's more like a cocoa powder than a coffee, because it just goes straight into the water, and so you can't use it in your machine, and it's really hard to tell what brand is going to be okay. And this is the one I usually get at the compound, so I knew it was going to be fine. Some soy sauce, probably for the fish, generally for stir fries, should be very nice. Some sweetener, because I was out of that, and it all goes with the little coffee there. Got some salsa, which was a bit of a splurge because salsa is weirdly expensive here. That's just my water when I got in because I was absolutely dying. I found these. I've never tried these tofu noodles. As I say, I try not to have too many starches. I do realise I've got a loaf of bread there as I say it. But I don't like to eat pastas and things. They don't settle massively well, and they're not that great for me. So, but these looked pretty awesome. So they had like a thicker cut noodle like this. And they had like a thinner one that would go really well in soup, I think. So that was pretty nice. I have heard that for these they don't taste the best, but in soup I think they'd be okay. And if I rinse them off first, I'm hoping it'll be fine. I've never tried them, but worth a go. It's been a while since I've had noodles. And also these are just some vegetable stocks. I got 2 beef, 2 vegetable, 2 chicken. So that was the entire haul. Fairly expensive. It was 288 SAR. So expensive in terms of a grocery shop. I don't usually spend quite that much. It ends up being about £55 British and about $75 US, maybe just over. I'm not sure about other currencies, but I'm sure with those three you could probably figure it out. Google is your friend. I don't usually spend quite that much, but I was getting proteins, and like I said, there were a couple of things that I bought that are not the cheapest, like buying the imported tofu noodles and getting the salsa and things, but they make me happy and I can afford it, so that's what I did. I did buy, as I said, the covers and the vase, so it wasn't all food shopping, and I don't get an opportunity to go to that grocery store, or rather, I always have the opportunity, but I can't often be bothered because it means going and getting a taxi out and things. But in my store here that I just walk to and get my day-to-days, I can only buy like chicken, and there just isn't a lot of variety in that store. There is a little vlog up on my channel giving you a little tour of that store, which is my go-to that I get all my daily essentials from. But sometimes I like to go out, and because it's the bigger one, I splurge a bit more. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the little grocery shop with me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.